You're listening to She's the Business podcast.
You and I hear a lot of advice about what you're doing wrong with your marketing. You're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. But what if it was actually not your marketing at all? What if the problem was really in your offer? Because think about it, people are not going to buy something that they don't already want, right? So it doesn't matter how good your marketing is or what amazing production you're putting on here, what reels, what messaging, if your offer is crap. So how do you know whether you have a problem with your offer? Well, that's what we're talking about in today's episode of She's the Business podcast. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and over the last 25 years in marketing and business, I've helped many brands to launch, scale, and grow, with some of them becoming multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm here to inspire you to get out of your own way and create a profitable, fulfilling business while living the lifestyle you really desire, without all the hustle. So I bring you She's the Business podcast, a unique blend of strategies, tactics, mindset, health, and spirituality, literally everything you need to be the successful leader of your dream business. Made by women for women, this is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration.
Today's episode, we're helping you diagnose whether you have a marketing problem or an offer problem. And let me tell you that 9 times out of 10 with the businesses that I've seen over the years, the clients who I've helped, the people I've worked with, and just people who I see in my general community, they are doing marketing. It's not that bad. They're actually okay at it. But the problem is actually that they're trying to market something that people aren't really wanting. They don't really connect with it. So the problem is usually with the offer first. And if you fix the offer, then you generally fix the marketing. It's not that hard. You cannot have good messaging if your offer is really bland, boring, and not something that your ideal client actually wants. And you might think, well, yeah, but this is like similar to what other people out there are offering. So surely this is what people are wanting. If you're just basing your offer off what other people are doing, you really haven't taken it to the level that's required to have what we would call a winning offer. That's easy to sell, that's easy to deliver, that is absolutely irresistible to your ideal client. Then you have not nailed it if you're just basing it off a cookie cutter of what someone else is out there is doing, and you haven't taken the time to make your offer really aligned. So let's diagnose, first of all, what are the top 3 signs that I would say show you that you have an offer problem instead of a marketing problem. The very first one would be when you have people who are consuming your free content. So they're following you on social media. They are enjoying some freebies that you put out. They may be engaging with you on your Facebook page or in groups and you know, going, yay, or yes, I love this, all of that kind of stuff. And you're thinking, great, this is awesome. People really like what I'm putting out there. And then 0 sales. Okay. So if that's happening and you've got an offer that you've had for a while and actually you've been trying to sell it to these people. So I'm not saying if you're doing all this stuff and then you're not actually putting an offer out there and you're having no sales, well, that's kind of obvious, right? You're not going to get sales if you're not putting your offer out there, if you're not actually inviting people to buy it. So let me clarify that if you're doing that marketing, if people are engaging with your free stuff, you're sharing your offer, but you're getting 0 bites, no sales coming in, then you have an offer problem. The problem is not in the marketing. The marketing clearly is working. It's just that what you're marketing isn't the right thing, right? Because it's not helping you to attract buying clients. And usually that problem is actually with the offering. That's the first place to be looking. Now, often people say to me, well, I think when I've got these people and they're loving it, they're just not buying my offer, it must be my messaging. And I'd have to say that as somebody who thinks there's a huge importance on messaging, like it is so important. Your messaging is everything. Messaging is really just words, right? But words are the thing that help someone take an action. They help them move. It's how you communicate. It's impossible to have someone buy your stuff if you're not communicating with them, right? The visual communication can only go so far. I know everybody says, I'm very visual. It's like, yeah, we like the pictures, but we like the pictures to help explain the words, right? So we actually communicate through words. It's how we communicate. And you can only have really good words when what you're putting into the words is suitable. It is something that has legs. It is the ideal thing. So it's not just fixing your messaging and it'll fix it. It's like I've seen people sell offers that had zero messaging experience. Literally, were using no templates, nothing, no tools. Their messaging was very, very basic. Even a simple email. Like I myself have sold an $8,000 coaching program to multiple people just using basic email and Gmail. Like there wasn't any fancy design, no marketing, nothing. It sold because the offer was good, right? Not because of anything else. And you'd have to say, yeah, messaging is important, but you can't have good messaging unless your offer is good already. So if you've got the right ingredients of your offer, then you've got the amazing platform to build some great messaging. So does that make sense? I hope so. Messaging is important. Yes, you can't have good messaging if you haven't got something good putting into the messaging. Be like trying to create an amazing dessert, but all you've got is like really cheap bog standard items from the grocery store, and you're trying to create a chef-inspired dessert. Like it's just, you can't create that if the ingredients that you're putting into it are not the ones that you need. So you need a good offer. That is one of the most primary ingredients for your messaging. And like I teach inside Business Jam, clearly having your expert zone and dialing into that is another of those ingredients. We talk about all of that inside Business Jam. There's a few key ingredients that's so important to just get right so that you can have good messaging. And messaging is really, it is just language. It is your words. It works best when it's simple. It's, fourth grade level. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, it's better that it's not fancy. It's better that it's just plain, simple language that no one has to think hard about in order to understand. So we're talking about offers though here, not messaging. And so that was the number one sign that you have an offer problem, is when you've got people in your stuff, enjoying your free things on your list. They're getting an invitation to your offer at some point and they're just not buying. Okay, so there we've got clearly an offer problem. Now, the second sign that I would say is really common is that you've got a lot of people who maybe are showing a bit of interest in your offerings. Maybe you're having some discovery calls, you're having people reach out or respond to you via email, or you're having conversations in the DMs, and it comes down to price. It's like the answer is price. No, it's too expensive. Or they want to negotiate. Now, this is a really key sign that there's actually a problem with the offer. A lot of people say, well, you're probably attracting the wrong people, right? Yeah, maybe you are. But the fact that they are looking at your price as a reason why they're buying or not buying, to me is like, actually, the problem is probably in how you're structuring your offer. Are you focusing on selling outputs instead of outcomes? Now, this is one of the most important factors that my Business Jam clients, get when we go through the framework of how you build a winning offer, is switching from it being focused on features or outputs, depending on what your service offering is, into it being focused on outcomes, like what your client actually wants, and not in the fact of like, oh, they want a coaching program with a certain amount of calls every week and they want videos. Like no one wants any of that, actually. Like if I could click my fingers, wave my magic wand, or sprinkle some fairy dust and it could be done, they would choose that. They're not going to be choosing sessions, PDFs, videos, any of that, because it's like, why would you if you could have it a different way? Okay, that is not why they're buying. They're buying because they want the outcome. And most people who are struggling with their offers, struggling to sell, are not selling outcomes. They're trying to sell features, and they're trying to make them like, wow, you're going to have these amazing coaching sessions that you're going to get so many breakthroughs through, and they're recorded so you can exit. Like no one cares. They will buy based on the outcome that you're offering. And if they can have it with less stuff that they have to do, less things, less overwhelm, less things they've got to fit into their busy day already, then they're going to choose that. right? So it's actually much less about those features than what you think it is. And this is probably a super common mistake so many entrepreneurs are making. And I'm just going to say, if that's you and you're like, oh my goodness, that's me, I'm doing that. It's okay. It's really normal. Why is it normal? Because we've grown up as consumers, and products are always sold to us based on features. This product has got these features in it. Anytime you're buying any kind of technology, it's basically a feature list, right? And half the time you don't even know what half those things mean anyway. You're probably looking for one or two key features. As long as it's got that, you're like, okay, the rest of it's fine. Who understands what all the things are? Pretty much nobody, unless you are already, highly versed in tech, one of the full geeks. So that's okay. But that's how we buy technology. And do you notice that often we're not buying based on all of the features? It's like there's one that we kind of want. So really, why do we want that one? Well, it's probably because of what it gives us. It's the outcome of that. That is the real thing that we really are wanting. And that's why we're buying it. And usually, as long as the features are kind of ticking the boxes, it's often not the key decision driver, right? Because there'll be lots of different options that tick those boxes as well. So what is it? Well, it's because it's more aligned to our outcome, what it is, the goal is that we have for this purchase. Now, outcomes are so much more important with service products, services, service products. You know what I mean? When you're delivering a service, whether that is a course, a program, a one-to-one service, a done-for-you service, it doesn't matter. The person's not buying the process of having it. They're buying what they get at the end of it. So outcomes, not outputs. That's the second clue. The second sign that you may have a problem with your offer instead of your marketing. And this shift I see is probably the one that drives the biggest results, the biggest success and changes with the students that I have in Business Jam is when we do this shift away from the outputs. Why? Because we're removing the reliance on time for money, removing that completely, and actually allowing you to deliver something to your client in a way that's going to get them the outcome. It can change everything. It can open up an opportunity to do it in a different way. And the number of people I've seen who've actually changed the way that they're offering their services once they start thinking about outcomes has been such an instrumental transformation, not only for them in their business, but usually for their time, the profit margins, what they're putting in, what they're getting out, and usually their clients are having greater success as well. So it is all round a win-win. That's why I called it actually in Business Jam, why that second step is actually called winning offers, because for me, a winning offer is a win for you and a win for your client. Like they're getting the outcome they're desiring. And it's also a win for you in terms of you're earning the profit, that margin or above, exceeding it even of what you want. And you're doing it in the time that you have available. If you're not doing that, how can it possibly be a win-win? Like if you're helping your client get the outcome, but it's taking everything out of you, you're compromising on your family time, on your health, you're working 60, 70-hour weeks, whatever, even if it's 40-hour weeks and you really want to be working 20 or less, then that's a compromise on what you really want. So that's, to me, not a win, right? A winning offer is a win for you and a win for your client. And most importantly, it has to be a win for both. I really see that, and you do see so many people bagging it out on social media, the types of businesses that are only in it for themselves. Like they just want a win for them. So it's like, well, I'm going to get my profit in the time that I want, and I don't care whether the client gets an outcome. Yeah, that's not really great. That is not a long-term strategy for success with your business, because guess what? People are going to get to know that really quickly. And you're always going to be needing to find new people and new ways of bringing them in. A win-win, a real winning offer is when they're having a win, because that is success for you. That means that you're successful in providing that service. A win for you, a win for them, that's a win-win, and it is a win overall for your business, for your long-term success, for everything, because it comes back around and it will grow and expand tenfold because you're providing so much value. Okay, the third sign that you have a problem with your offer is that your buyers are tending to be referred from other people. So when people are buying, they haven't found you organically or come through your own marketing. They've been referred by somebody else. So I see often with done for you type of services, it's quite common to have referrals. It's quite common to get clients referred to you. I think that referrals are great. Like, wow, amazing. You've got a client that you didn't really need to do any work in order to get, apart from serve another client, which is what you're being paid to do anyway. So they can be gold, but there is a danger where all your clients are being referred. That would be a sign to me like, that means that my offering actually isn't really great because nobody new coming into my world is taking it. They're only taking it when they've got that extra bit of trust, that sense of safety and security that's provided by the referral. So that's actually the trust in the person doing the referral, that they are referring somebody who's worthy, right? Who has the value, because they may not be seeing it themselves, which is apparent when your clients come through referral channels and not direct to you. So we want to be seeing, probably 90% are coming direct to you. And, you've got a lovely 10%, I call it the cherry on the top, the little golden nuggets, those referrals that come in, who are buying through that referral channel. But it is an absolute sign to be thinking about and consider, if you've got a heavy balance of referral-based business and that's it, then that would be to me a sign that people who are finding you organically are not actually they're not seeing the value in your offering, which means that you do have an offer problem. Okay, it's very hard to communicate the value when the value isn't in the offering. So that would be a problem with your offer design, which is obviously something that we would look at for you. Now, the fourth one, I have an extra bonus one. I did sort of start the episode thinking there are three main signs, but I'll throw in a fourth one because I always love to, over-deliver. Deliver more than what I said I was going to. And this is taking it up into more of a broader sense of looking at your business overall. So it may not be a single offer, but where you're seeing that your business is, when you're doing your marketing, it's quite scattered, meaning that you're jumping from marketing one thing over here to marketing another thing over here. There's a lot of disjointed communication happening. You've got different things for different people going on. You would know if you're doing this that it's very heavy. It's actually really hard to do. It feels like your brain is going to explode because you're trying to keep track of so many different things with all these different types of people. And who am I talking to again? And who should I be talking to on my social media? I don't know, because I've got all these different offerings. Yeah, I get it, because I've done that before as well, and really had that moment of going, I should be listening to the advice I used to give businesses I worked for in the past. It's like, stop having so many different offerings. Like, that is making your life so hard to market. It's so much more expensive, takes so much more time, or more resources from you, and it's actually creating confusion in the market. It is confusing your messaging. It's making other people not really sure what it is that you're offering. So where I see that is, it's not necessarily a problem with a single offer, but it's a problem with your offer stack. It's a problem with the offerings that you have within your business, that there is no alignment there. When you can bring them through into alignment, which is, really where I take you on this offer strategy build in Business Jam, we look at singular offers to make sure each one of them is a winning offer. But then what happens when we look at all the offerings the business have? Are they aligned? Is there flow between them? And do you have a leading offer? If we don't have that, then that is causing problems with your marketing. But the problem is actually with the way that you've designed your offerings, like how they're connected, your offer stack, and potentially an individual offer as well. So there you have it. Now when you look at this, you can see so clearly that there are a lot of causes from the offer part of your business, how you've built that strategy, how you've actually designed each offer, that are causing problems in your marketing. And here you are trying to solve the problem by fixing your marketing or fixing your messaging or getting a designer or whatever you're trying to do, maybe trying a new platform and it's still not working, it's not because of the marketing you're doing is the problem. It's because of the offer part of your strategy. Now, the offer is just one of 5 keys to premium clients that, I share in a lot more detail what all of the 5 keys are in my online training that you can get on my website right now. The offer is one of the 5 ingredients. I would say it is the most important one because nobody buys something that isn't right for them. They don't buy something that they don't already want. They may need it, but if they don't want it, they're not buying it, right? And so it's so important to actually design your offer to be really well aligned to your expertise, but to your ideal client. From there, you can create the right messaging, because you're going to be speaking to the right people about the right thing. Otherwise, you're trying to sell people something that they don't actually want. It might be like trying to sell sand to somebody who lives in the desert. They're like, I don't really need that sand. Or maybe you're trying to sell something to somebody who you can see that they need it, but they're not there yet. Well, that is a really hard sell. So your offer is so important. When you have your offer right, and it's aligned in with your expert zone, your expertise, which is what I show you how to do that in Business Jam. When you're doing that right, then you can have good messaging. And yes, you can apply some of the messaging, different ways of doing messaging. I show you how to build messaging. I like to avoid the word templates because I don't like providing messaging templates, but I like to show you the strategy behind messaging, how you use words and in what way in order to communicate clearly and in order to help somebody to take action. So when people get that, but you've already got the building blocks for the messaging, then it works. You put that into your marketing and it works. You don't need to have anything flash or fancy with your marketing. You'll know it's working and it'll work straight away because you put the right key ingredients into it. So if you're wanting to find out a bit more about the 5 keys, more than just the offer, or, even just like, hey, Jess, I need some help with my offerings, you know where to find me. But you can go in and have a look at that free training on my website, learn about the 5 keys to premium paying clients, really understand why offer is one of those most critical ones, but what else you need in that 5-piece strategy. Go in, sign up, grab yourself a seat, do that training now, and you will come out of that with so much more clarity and knowledge. You'll know what you can stop doing, stop wasting time on, stop focusing on, and actually what you should start focusing on. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will be back again next week with another episode for you here on She's the Business podcast.
Do you know something? There are so many people that are overcomplicating their marketing, which means that they're running on the marketing treadmill, pumping out so much content, but still not yielding those results, meaning there are no clients actually signing up. Like, what use is an audience if they're not an audience of buyers? What use is it creating great content to share if the people who are reading it have no desire to take that next step to actually working with you? Well, if any of those things are happening for you right now, then it's highly likely that you're simply missing a key in your marketing strategy. And those keys are really simple. There are just 5 of them. And it's about how you align them, put them together. That is the simplicity that makes everything work, just like clockwork, so that you have a consistent stream of what you would consider your dream clients literally turning up in your inbox, ready to have a conversation, ready to sign up with you without you going out there to find them. So let's put an end to cold outreach. Let's put an end to searching for clients in Facebook groups. Let's put an end to just waiting around and relying on referrals to come through from other people. Because when you have that consistent stream of clients, then you're in the place of being able to choose. You've got an abundance of opportunity out there, and all we need to do is turn on the tap, for your clients to find you. So I've created a brand new training and it's called 5 Keys to Clients on Tap. So you can guess what it's about, can't you? Well, this 1-hour short training takes you through those 5 critical keys that you need to have in your business so that you do have clients on tap, and not just any old client, the ones that you most want to be working with, that are going to make you profitable, that are going to fulfill you, are going to make you feel like jumping out of bed every morning because you love your business so much. So you want in? All you need to do is head to jessicaosborne.com/TMF for the magnetic formula. So TMF, and get yourself into the next session that's running for this training. You honestly will not regret it. It is going to change your business, your life, if you've been experiencing any of those problems I mentioned before. Look forward to seeing you in there, and let's do this.